back to the Talkaholics podcast. Iman is about to burp. I'm Razia. Iman's about to burp. Let's talk about part 2.
So, as you see, if you haven't seen part 1, first of all, go.
Yep.
What are you doing?
No,
go watch
sorry.
it.
This is not the one you
we'll have like a little card for you to click.
Yeah.
And we'll have a link down below as well. But we just talked about 2020. That's it. We talked about 2020, what it was like for us, like personally, and stuff like that. So if you're interested in seeing, if your experiences are similar, if we're feeling the same thing, if you want to feel how we felt, then yeah, head over to part 1. But for part 2, Razia, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna talk about Talkaholics. We're gonna take a look back at the year, and how we've managed through COVID, but I think how we've grown like a crazy amount. We kind of were just talking right before this recording about all the things that kind of happened in 2020, and we were surprised that this was like all within the 1 year. Before we start off though, like a quick shout out to content creators this year, because I think COVID is when not just us, but a lot of people, podcasts, YouTube, whatever you do, Twitch, I've seen, like a lot of people had to shift like crazy and just adjust to the fact that they couldn't do collabs with other people that they would in whatever studio that they were in. I saw a lot of people using Zoom and recording from their own places. So
it's not easy. Like even for us, crazy. Like I'm sure if you've watched some of our stuff, like you're like,
yeah,
what's going on here?
What? Wait, we can't even hear you.
Like our audio it's been a struggle, honestly. Like trying to figure out audio over. We're doing this on Discord.
Discord. Iman's not here today. I don't know what she's on.
Sorry, Discord. We're doing this over Discord. It's hard finding good, like making sure the quality, like of our faces, that you see is good on top
like
of the audio being good. With limited resources, we're not like a big production company that has like all the hair. It's a cat hair. Anyways, all the resources, all the mics, and all that stuff of like production companies that, or like even big podcasters that you may follow may have.
Yeah,
it's not the same for us. So I can't and it's not just been us. Everybody has been struggling. So yeah, definitely kudos to y'all. Kudos to us.
Yeah,
for still being here. We could have been like 2020. We're taking a break.
Yeah,
okay.
Man, it was crazy. But anyways, we wanted to kind of look through our different channels that we're on. So we're on YouTube and SoundCloud, iTunes, as you guys already know.
Not iTunes, Apple Podcast app.
It's specific
because I realized it's different. Like, anyways, we're not gonna go into it, but the Apple Podcast app.
There you go. So I think, Iman, are we starting off with YouTube? Is that what we're first diving into?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
So what we did was we kind of looked at for YouTube and SoundCloud what our top 5 watch/listen to episodes were. So for YouTube, coming in, should we go 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
5 to 1 sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. So for YouTube, number 5 was actually our Among Us episode, which we had guests.
Yeah, I think it was just
Misbah, right?
Yeah, I think it was just Misbah.
Yeah. So we had Misbah on for that episode, and it was super fun. Razia was like the imposter for almost all of the games.
Every single
except
one.
For the last one, which I was the imposter. And guys, this is my first time ever playing Among Us.
Which I'm kind of glad we recorded it that way, because it was the best.
I didn't know how to use it. And it was my first time ever being imposter. And I remember I saw Razia, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to kill Razia. So I like did the vent thingy, and I was waiting for it to look away so I could pop out of the vent. And I popped out of the vent by accident. And she was there, and she saw me, and but by accident, picked herself.
I think that was the best thing about the episode. It's just the how it ended. Like I literally my heart dropped when I saw what I selected, and I realized, and I was like, of course the episode ends like
but
that.
Yeah, so I ended up winning the round because she fumbled the bag. But if you guys haven't seen the episode, definitely check it out.
Check it out, dude.
It was fun.
Alrighty, number 4.
But number 4 was our Space Force review, which was it was a great episode. It was like more of our standard,
Actually,
podcast
the only reason why it's like kind of a standout to me is because it's the first time we've actually been on top of something when it's on top of a show. Like we recorded it when it came out.
Like Razia was like, this series is coming out. Let's binge it, and we're gonna make sure we record before it gets old. And I was like, got you,
because we're so bad at that. So shout out to us for pulling through for once.
Yeah, that was great. That was fun.
Number 3.
Number 3 was our first Jackbox episode with Roshi.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was the first time Roshi was on our channel.
I think it's the first time and the first time we played the Jackbox too. Yeah, so
yeah.
first.
So that was really fun. I mean, I love Jackbox games. It's always a fun time, and like Roshi's always a fun. As you saw in our last, last 2 episodes.
I didn't even get to ask you.
Around.
What did you think? What did you think?
I wasn't here.
No. What did you think about the episode? I didn't get to hear your
I loved it. It was so much fun. I was like, I was literally like giggling while watching it.
I was like editing it, hoping I was like, Iman better laugh at this because
I was laughing. I was laughing. And number 2 was Quarantine Quiplash Part 2. Though.
Yeah, Part 2 specifically did better.
Y'all like Part 2 better than Part 1?
I don't know
what happened. Like, okay, whatever.
Cool.
And then number 1 was actually our 50th episode, which was our game show episode.
Ooh, and I'm glad that that's number 1 because the amount of work we did for that.
Yeah, Razia went through it. Razia went through it. But that was so, like, literally, that was just, like, a month before we went into lockdown, right?
Yeah,
and
February.
We were actually in person, touching, breathing each other's air.
Hearing each other
but
laugh.
That was really fun. We had Mesa on, and Razia was the host, and it was me versus Mesa, and I won.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love that episode, and I'm so happy that it's our top viewed one on YouTube. Awesome. But let's move on to SoundCloud, because we still have other things to talk about. Yeah, we don't want to ramble on forever.
Speedy
so I'll quickly go through SoundCloud. So number 5 was The History of Us, which was the episode where
when we went through our logo redesign, and we wanted to just like look back and go, okay, what have we become since? Like, I think it was about, at that time we haven't hit our 3-year mark. So we were just kind of looking back. And I think the episode that came after that was our like satire video, like review.
Oh my god! That video. That was.
Make sure to check that out. I think that's a good one.
Check that out. That one when we react to our first ever video. Oh god. Anyways, our number 4 coming in was our episode with Rumesa when she was first on our. Sorry, this is a podcast episode. Her first time on the podcast. Yeah. And it was when she talked about her trip and experience in Kenya and all that. And people really, really like that. Like, they really like listening to her experience. That, So, and I enjoyed it. It was great. So yeah, number 3 was our episode about navigating love, which I think we did for Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, and it was one of those episodes that were like treading water, like, this is a strange topic to talk about. But you guys showed up. You were here for.
We were like, okay, let's talk about this, but like
around it.
Yeah, because like we're not trying to the lives of immigrant Muslim first what is it, also, first gen Muslim women.
Yeah. Also, we're not about to put everything out there.
Yeah, we've been taught better.
Ooh, tell him.
Ew, I hated that. Our second most listened to episode on SoundCloud was our Knives Out review. Still, like, probably one of my favorite movies of the year. I'll be honest. Like, that movie was...
Good point. Actually, since that was a series, I would rewatch that a billion times over. So
that was a great movie. I love that.
Amazing.
It was phenomenal. Listen to it to hear our review. And then
Top listen to?
Top listen, yeah. Number 1. I need to stop with the hand gestures. I really need to stop because I don't know anything. Okay, so our top listened to episode was our episode, I think it was called My Hijab, Your Accessory?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about, like, Razia was talking about a specific incident that happened with a coworker, and it kind of went more into our experiences as hijabis and how people perceive us and how it's kind of become, like, not a trend, I would say, but, like, people try to make it into... Anyways.
Yeah.
That was... I really enjoyed that conversation, and I can speak way more on that conversation.
I think out of all the episodes, because like Iman and I hear from our friends, like, oh, I've listened to this, or oh, I like actually, like, we'll start telling them a story about something that happened, and they're like, oh, I already heard it on the podcast. I'll be like, oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I forget people listen to us.
Yeah,
like,
I 100% forget. So, and
I forget all the time, and they're like, yeah, you talked about that on the podcast, and I was like,
yeah, so, okay. Next topic. But this is the one episode from multiple friends that is like the commonality of, like, most people have tune into that to be like, oh yeah, that's Cherry Razzie. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, but still getting used to it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, those were our top 5s for both YouTube and SoundCloud. I mean,
thanks for
I don't
listening
know.
and watching.
I'm not.
Though.
I don't know if I'm surprised per se.
No.
Like I remember we were talking about the commonality for YouTube is like they're all the episodes where you can see our face.
Yeah, and gameplay. A lot more gameplay stuff is being viewed now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of a mixture for our SoundCloud, but it's cool to see kind of like the analytics when you come to an end of the year and see, you know, what people liked versus what people I don't want to say didn't like, but just less.
Didn't tune into.
Yeah, or didn't tune into.
One of the things though that I think that we need to get into past this, because I mean I think that was a good summary of how our year went, like clearly all over the board in terms of like topics and subjects, and we tried a bunch of new things. But I think this was really our year for like pushing ourselves. We kind of had more YouTube content than before, but in terms of like seeing us instead of just like that one image. I think for us, like let's talk about like one of the biggest highlights, which was our local rebrand, and like becoming studios was a big thing, changing the name. I think the greatest shift for us, because I think initially we started the podcast to start making content with each other, but really the end goal wasn't that. Like that's not something we wanted to limit ourselves.
And I think we mentioned this before. Like podcast wasn't our first choice, but it was a way to get our kind of like our foot in the water and like foot
in the door
to start foot in the door. So to start doing stuff, and I think that and we made the decision to rebrand into Talkaholics Studios because that initially was our goal. We want to do other forms of content, and I think 2020 was like a big hamper on that. Because we couldn't. We
just couldn't.
And like not only the fact that we couldn't meet and like record in a space together and stuff like that, but also all the other, you know, like mental and everything that comes with being in 2020 really put that on hold. And so I think that, I mean, I think that moving forward in the years to come, you'll definitely see more other types of content. That wasn't English, but more like more, you know, videos and other things that aren't just sit down talk.
Because we're talented.
To come on our channel,
and we can do a lot. So
we have the ideas. We just need to do it, guys. We don't have the time, the space, the equipment.
Another thing I want to shout out is also a really cool thing that happened on our socials, which I think it was like an office specific episode that we actually got a like or a comment or something from somebody who was actually in the office.
Yeah, it was the actress who plays
Pam's
mom.
Yeah. Which is like, I remember us freaking out about it, going, we made it. This is the moment.
It was funny because when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's Pam's mom. But I honestly and truly thought it was like a fan account. Yeah. Like, I didn't think it was a real account.
How are you going to assume, it's the actress?
Yeah, because it's so random. Like, literally the randomest thing ever. And then I remember looking at it, I'm like, oh, I think this is her actual personal account. How did she find us? And then I messaged it to Razia.
I was freaking the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, people are like, that's like the smallest thing. Why are you freaking out?
But,
well,
but
she was on the show.
Yeah.
She's the real actress from the show.
Hey, come on.
Let us be happy.
We don't have like 1,000 subscribers. And yet, come on. We already got celebrity status here. Hold on. So
we also reached 1,000 listens on SoundCloud this year.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. And like, it's one of those things where like I think our YouTube is slow and steady. Like we're just starting to use like custom thumbnails and stuff and putting ourselves out there. Even like understanding like, you know, tagging stuff to make sure like we get the greatest reach we can. But for some reason, like the people who are listening to just the podcast, like the audio, like we're getting traction. So that makes me really happy that there's an audience out there that isn't our friends.
I mean, it's great. I love that our friends are listening. Yeah. But it would also be nice if there was other people.
It's a broader community that isn't like the people we talk to.
Yeah, definitely. We also had, like you mentioned before, we had the most gaming content that we've ever, like this is the year we did gaming content. Yeah. I don't think we ever did it before. No. So that was fun. Like that's more Razia's area of expertise. Hey, so for me personally,
but
yes, it is.
Animal Crossing was pretty. That was like both of our.
I mean, yes, I love Animal Crossing, but I've never been the one to like. You do a lot more gaming than I do. That's the reality. Well, but I like it because introduced to a lot more things that I never would have been introduced if it wasn't for Razia's expertise in gaming. So even like Jackbox, I've never ever heard of it. So it was fun. I really enjoyed doing that this year.
I think it was a good way for us to make content while we were apart. Well, most people were doing that. But it was good too to just like, it was a really easy way of having guests on without talking about something serious, is my point. Like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, fun and games. I love it. Oh, also, this year is the most we've ever had guests on.
Yeah, Mizba, Roshi, Rumesa. We've cycled through them a lot.
Yeah, we just keep bringing them back. Just keep bringing them back.
But shout out to them for showing up for us this year, man. Like, we needed them so much.
And, like, we want to do more guest episodes, and obviously people we may not personally know.
Yeah.
Eventually, when,
we'll get there.
Miss Rona has left the building. But until then, we'll probably keep using our friends.
Oh my god.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to bring up? The series. The series we did on Instagram, the Women Who Conquer series. That was a great time.
We completely forgot about that. Just to like round out everything that we done, I think I
forgot that happened. I didn't think that was this year.
I really thought that was last year. But just to round out, like, we experimented with our podcast and our YouTube, but we completely forgot about that. We had our own series and like social media plans for the first time, like on our Instagram and Twitter and stuff, Facebook too, where we did a week of recommendations where we went through books and movies and saw musical artists that we loved, but also we went through Women Who Conquer, which was a series that I think followed International Women's Day.
I mean, I think it was like for the purpose
just a general week. And we were obviously, given knowing us, we made it centered around women of color and people who weren't super duper popular, just to actually give shout outs to. And so that was nice to also get, like, we got likes and stuff from most of them.
I think that most of them interacted, maybe just one. I think it was just maybe out of the 5, maybe 1 or 2 who didn't interact with that. But it was just nice, and we weren't expecting anything from them. Let's say that. Yeah. We just found that these women were inspiring to us in whatever field that they were in, and we were like, this would be a great time to shout out women who are doing their thing, who are, kind of just being bosses in whatever aspect of career they're in. And it was really nice to do that. Yeah. So I enjoyed that a lot. And hopefully we could do it like a yearly thing.
That's what I was going to say, that to segue, like how I would like to, and I think you would say the same, would like to see next year in terms of Talkaholics growth, other than like, again, pushing the envelope like we have, and like again, being experimental, because again, the both of us really just care about the content more than anything, and to have fun and be funny and that kind of stuff. But it'd be nice to like continue to push this other purpose forward besides those things, which is like to highlight women who look like us and do the things that we do, because that's not really out there, right? So
definitely. And I think that's a big part of why we even started things like this. And like, not that there aren't big productions and like really really well thought, no, what am I saying?
We've been at this a long time. I'm sorry.
It just needs to come out, okay? Not that there aren't like, yes, big productions and like really popular, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Really popular people and like shows, podcasts, movies out there that do represent, women who look like us and just different women across the board.
Right.
But it's still something that is not happening as often as it should be. Mm-hmm. And like that was a big part for me and Razia to like do something like this, because that's like we're kind of trying to do our part in making this space more inclusive. And even if we're on the lower end of the production value and how many people watch us, it's still we're still putting out content that someone can see and be like, oh, I've never seen people like that before. You know what I mean? Like,
no, 100%. Like I think our our honest like initial intent is to always make content that we like and we're having fun with, and whatever, like it's a creative source for us to like put our content out there. But at the same time, I think it kind of comes with just given the way that we look and who we are a little bit. Like, part of us just like personally is always kind of like our guests should also look like us, and the people we support and put out
there
should also look like us. And I don't know. That's just some good advice going forward is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And any content we do moving forward that goes beyond us, we'll still have those principles, if we ever produce anything special.
Hey.
Those will be things that we think about because we are at the forefront of it. So
yeah, we are
exciting.
Right. This was really fun. I'm hoping that you guys stayed tuned. Watch the first part of this and the second one and kind of got a picture of what this year looked like for us. A lot of stuff happened. We were very busy women. Clearly.
Yes.
So,
if you watched part one, you would know what has been going on in our lives this year.
Holy smokes.
And it's not just this. I wish.
No. Listen, if we get, my God.
I have to deal about this. I only have to worry about this podcast? Wow.
Yo.
Wow.
Talk about stress relief. Like, I just felt I felt a weight come off my shoulders. The second you said that, I was like, oh, that can be a reality. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I didn't have anything to say.
Okay. We've been doing this for 3 years. But thank you for watching. Not just this episode or the part before this, but like if you've been watching and staying tuned for the past year, our content, we're super grateful for it because it's a lot of work and we put a lot of commitment into putting in content for you guys and for us. And it's just nice to see you guys react to stuff. When you do leave comments, it's a little bit. It gets us a little excited.
Yeah, it makes us happy.
But it's a little bit of encouragement that people are listening and stuff.
Yeah.
But let us know down below if there's anything in mind that we haven't tried this year. Which we've tried a lot. If there's anything we haven't done that you'd like us to see, please leave it down below.
You'd like us to do.
Yes, please let us know what crazy other things that we can do, and hopefully we can actually put forward. Given that we can collab in person soon, Iman.
Yeah.
One day.
I haven't seen her in months.
My room feels so empty without you. How do I record?
So let us know, guys. We do have things obviously planned for the new year, but we're always welcome hearing suggestions. Thank you so much for always tuning in. If you're new, subscribe.
Hey.
Stick around. We're fun, I think. And have a happy new year.
Yes.
And hopefully 2021
will be a lot more fun.
Bring better vibes around. Just the vibes. We need better vibes.
Yes, 100%. But yes, until the next episode, which will be in the new year, we'll talk to you then.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in 2021.
Bye.
Bye.